Well, howdly doodly, how you doing? It's your boy Kane. I'm back with another video talking about my game Clipper. We're here finishing off a demo that we're going to get submitted by the 4th of February. By my count, that's 16 days away. So lots of stuff to do, have made lots of progress so far. And yeah, it's all kind of coming together. So this is going to be another one of those like quick check-in videos where I'm just going to talk to you about what's been done today, play the game a little bit, and sort of walk you through it. The big one today is being able to have a single object do more than one thing. And that sort of sounds pretty like, what does that mean? Well, let me show you. What I've been working on is a problem that we've sort of had since the very beginning of the game, which is what do we do in the situation where we're going to issue a command or record a command, such as here. So here I'm holding down the space bar, I'm pointing somewhere in the world, and I have my Viking selected. And most of the time, there's only one possible command that could be issued for any combination of the Viking state, like where it is, what it's holding, etc., and where the mouse is in the world. So here, as I'm moving the mouse around, the only thing I could possibly do if I'm pointing to a bit of like empty ground, let me stop him from escaping, is I stopped him right at the last minute. He's gonna get stuck there. Never mind, I'll replace him. Is if I'm pointing to a blank space of ground, like the only possible thing I could be doing is walking. Ditto for if I get close to a resource like this, the only possible thing I could be doing is to harvest it. And so that's a rule I've been trying to stick to, just because I think that it makes the game like conceptually simpler to think about. Like there's only ever one possible thing. Also, it just means that the UI doesn't get really cluttered with like lots of buttons and stuff like that. But I always knew that like eventually there would be some situation where I just wouldn't be able to come up with some shenanigans where I could just reduce it to one command. And I finally found that one edge case. My good friend Alex talks about being an edge case detector. He's got an amazing brain for finding these little things. And so talking the other day, I sort of figured out this one. It's a basket. So a basket is an item. And items in Clipper can be picked up. So as you can see here, the Viking is currently holding an iron ore item. And so normally with a item, the only thing we can do is pick it up, drop it, insert it into something. Very simple, always one command. But what if we have an item like a basket that in addition to having its function of being able to be carried, you can store things in it. So here, now our basket has an iron ore. And so the idea here is that like with resource sites, very often what you find is you're ferrying things back and forth with a single Viking carrying one thing at a time. And we don't want that. So we could either have 1,000 Vikings creating a kind of like pseudo conveyor belt by just passing them from one to the other. Or we could put them in a basket or wheelbarrow or some other sort of object like that. So I'm just prototyping a basket at the moment. But now this creates a dilemma, because if the basket has something in it, and a Viking is empty-handed, and we go to select the basket, there's at least two things that we could possibly do. We could either want to take something out of the basket, or we could want to pick the basket up itself and carry it somewhere. And I just couldn't see any other way around it. So I bit the bullet and I've implemented what I call disambiguation, which is where we try our best to reduce it to one possible command. And if we can't, then we just bring up this little bit of UI here. And so here we have the choice of I can take something from the basket, and then I can record my normal commands. I can come back here and insert it again, and our Viking will go off and do that. Or this time I can actually pick the basket up. So if I record it, he puts the basket on his head, which is kind of cute. He walks with it around. And so, yeah, this is just one of those things where I've been, there's been a couple of things like this where I've been like avoiding something or thinking, oh, it's gonna be too complicated, or like it's not gonna work, or there's gonna be some problems with it. And I sit down and bash it out, and it's like, okay, there's like some reasonably complicated code. You know, we had to like go from, instead of trying to find like a single possible command, we had to produce like an array of commands. There's some finicky bits in there because like now we've got the UI is presenting these buttons here, and we have to like listen to those buttons and make sure that when they're pressed, we go into the command system. We need to make it so that you can abort the commands. You know, there's just like tricky little things to be figured out, but like overall it wasn't a big deal. And so it's just one of those ones where I'm really glad that I sat down, spent the time, and got it working. So that was like the big ticket item from today. The remainder of the day, like as I said, was like just figuring out some of those like tricky little edge cases to do with how that disambiguation system fit into, like, for example, command recording. So if we quickly build a command tower and we chuck this Viking in there, let's spawn another one to be our worker. Making sure that, for example, we can record commands that include some disambiguation as well. That was really important. So we can send our Viking over there. We've recorded that sequence. He goes over the command tower, takes something out, retrieves it from the storage, and then puts it back in again. So just making sure that it's still played nicely with all the existing systems. Then some of the other ones are like just lots and lots of bug fixes today. So this is a bug they still haven't fixed, which is that the behavior that a Viking has when they so maybe if I let him escape, he'll be able to get out of there. I don't think so. The behavior that a Viking has when they're escaped, which means like you brainwash them for some period of time and then didn't brainwash them after an extended period of time. At the moment, that system doesn't integrate into the pathfinding system, and so the Vikings will just literally walk straight through obstacles. But then if you try and issue them like a walk command, you know, like you would here, that's integrating with the pathfinding system. And in this case, it says, I can't find a path there because I'm surrounded by obstacles. In this case, you're inside an obstacle. Theobald, but generally all right. So that bug aside, now I've got things like you can leave a control tower, you know, and go back in there again, and it's all okay. You can't do weird things like issue a command tower command to yourself. Just all those little things. And I think this is all just coming about from playing the game more and really trying to build out like more sophisticated supply chains like I was showing the other day, and sort of seeing the little bugs that crop up once you get some more complexity. I am really, really loving these debug tools. I can't believe how long I've gone without them. It's like coming from the Stone Age or something. So here I can like advance the milestone and, you know, get all the different unlocks that come along with that. And then just being able to spawn a Viking is great. You just make one appear in the scene. It's fantastic. Really helps me test things out a lot better. So yeah, so that's most of the work today. I mentioned on Monday, really still wanting to get like that better visualization going for when we have these chains of commands. I want to see a Viking moving through the world and doing that. I want to see holographic representations of the items, but today I just really wanted to get, you know, that's a nice to have in my opinion. Like the game is still playable without it. Like the system's fine, like it works. It's just not the best. But I really wanted to get this disambiguation system going. I think it's like a fundamental thing that figuring that out, getting it working, that makes me really happy. So the final thing that I did today was put together a form for people who want to check out the game and give it a playtest. I will include a link in the video description on how to do that. Basically, if you have 30 minutes in the next week or so, so that'll be from today's the 17th of January, all from the 17th up until the 1st, I would love your help to play the game, test it out, and give me the harshest feedback you possibly can. I want to make this game fantastic. I really want to make it something amazing, and so I can't do that without your help. So check it out. As I said, the link will be in the description. And yeah, I'll even give you a $20 gift voucher of your choice to thank you for your time. So hopefully that sweetens the deal. All right, that's going to be everything from me today. Thank you very much. As always, if you have any feedback or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Otherwise, please subscribe to the video, share it with your friends. And if you're feeling super generous, please check out my Patreon for some ways you can support me financially. Until next time, thanks very much.